Welcome back to Shit Creek Survivors, where we share stories of resilience, tools for building resilience, and the hope that comes from them. Today, we're joined by Rob Sartin, who survived 10 plus strokes and a brain tumor diagnosis. Rob opens up about hospital delirium, losing mobility, and the mental battles that followed. He's also going to open up about how gratitude, nature, and a disciplined mindset helped him reclaim joy and purpose. This conversation is a powerful reminder that even after unimaginable adversity, resilience is possible and hope is real. Here we go. So, Rob, if you want to kind of introduce yourself to the audience.
I'll tell you, like 50 years ago, I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. I fell in love with programming computers, and that's all I've ever done since then.
Awesome.
Then about 2 years ago, I was working out with my son, and I had a mysterious loss of memory. And it was September of 2023. And I couldn't remember what exercise we were doing or what the count was while we were working out. And then I went down to lie down and rest. And I forgot I was supposed to make dinner. And then that night, when it came time to put my wife back to bed, she kept asking me, or I kept asking her, if I needed to charge her power wheelchair, and she kept saying, no, we charged it last night. About the 6th time I asked her that, she sent me upstairs to get our son and call 911.
Okay.
This was just a precursor to all of it. It was diagnosed as transient global amnesia, which is common and basically a catch-all, which is you forgot what's going on and nobody knows why. Doesn't have any effect for predicting the future at all. But as the doctor reviewed my diagnosis with me, I had some bonus diagnoses as a result. One of them was a brain tumor in my ear that was almost definitely benign and very slow growing.
You had 10 strokes in 2 years?
Yeah, most of them were in the first 3 months of 24.
Oh my goodness.
It was a raggedy 3 months.
I bet.
One of the things that started happening is I started having a hospital delirium. And so I was imagining time traveling assassins were coming trying to kill me and my family.
Oh no.
And I was imagining when I was in rehab, I imagined that rehab was a veterinary clinic and I was a horse. It was a really, really weird, but in a lot of ways, it helped me deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
was the rehab just from the surgeries or from the
rehab was from the side effects of the stroke.
Of the strokes. It wasn't a rehab for alcohol or
no.
Okay. Just clarifying that for the audience members as well. That's what I figured you were saying.
Yeah.
That's crazy that your brain could do that. That like bring out those hallucinations after having a stroke.
Apparently, it's not that unusual for people who are confined to the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the delusions were very weird.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. Wow. Because when I was in the hospital, I was in a coma for 5 weeks. And when they kind of pulled me out of the coma, like I don't remember a lot of that time. And I remember not knowing where I was and then thinking I was at a different hospital for the longest time. And then having dreams about being in other hospitals and running into people. Like it was really kind of, I've never heard anyone talk about that. And I don't know if that's
probably a variant of that. Yeah.
Wow. Now, this might be a dumb question, but Can you speak at all to what a stroke actually kind of feels like? Is it more
So
disorientation as you're going through it?
I have a really, really clear feeling of my first stroke and my seventh stroke. We were actually taking an EEG while I had it.
Oh, wow.
So the first stroke, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning on January 7th, and I just felt wrong.
Uh-huh.
Uh, like not quite like I wanted to throw up, but like something was off.
Yeah.
And so I got up to go have a drink of water. And I didn't make it 10 steps. I got outside my bedroom door and I collapsed at the bottom of the stairs and I could not move.
Oh gosh.
It was about 10 or 15 minutes later. I was able to crawl to my son's bedroom and wake him up to call 911.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Well, good on you to keep pushing in that moment. You
Yeah.
didn't just wait there. You kept moving, man. That's
And
resilience in action right there.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's been my approach to rehab too. It's
Yeah.
the more it hurts, the harder I work, the more I'm getting out of it.
Gotcha.
And
Now,
that's a hard one.
that is very hard. I was going to ask you, is that something you kind of grew up with? Just like, no matter what comes at you, you're going to bulldoze through it sort of deal? Or is it something that you've learned through this process? Or was it just a natural
I
reaction?
I think I had learned it before.
Uh-huh.
I think, gee, man, 20 years ago, my son, who's now 25, had pediatric leukemia.
Oh,
And we
goodness.
figured out pretty quickly that the best way to deal with that was blinders on, focus on having a good time now,
Yep.
Yeah.
and only doing what we could do. Like, I couldn't control whether his treatment was going to work. I can't control whether my treatment is going to work. All I can do is try.
Yeah.
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 Man, that is controlling the controllables to an extreme there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And letting
I
go of the
can.
things you can't
Yeah,
control, because that's
I
really hard
can.
too.
Yeah, I can work my butt off, but almost 2 years later, I can only walk 235 feet. So
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, that is such a powerful walk you had to go through, and the fact that you've experienced 10 plus strokes and you're advocating for happiness and joy. So, um, it's interesting because we've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of times people are able to take something that's terrible and turn it into something that they're proud of in a way. Although
yeah,
this happened, I rose to the occasion.
yeah,
And I know there's listeners out there who are just having trouble, you know, getting to that place. Now I could speak on it a little bit because I had a period of time where I was a victim after I came back and I wasn't
yeah,
fixing myself. I was waiting for someone to come fix me and all that kind of stuff. But I, at one point, had a sudden realization nothing will change unless I change. And
yeah,
the only way I can do this is I have to go straight at this. I can't go half in. If I'm going to
yeah,
do it, I'm going to go all the way. And it started with sobriety for me. I needed to get sober
yeah,
before anything else,
yeah,
and even that felt like jumping off a 1,000,000-mile cliff, because I'd had to try something new. I had to focus on getting back up. And what is one of the ways that you encourage yourself on a daily basis to keep going? Because it's one thing to be motivated, and get started, but to continue going, to do 5 days in a row where you're doing 5 hours of the therapy and working up to that spot, that didn't happen overnight. I know you had to work really hard for a long
yeah.
period of time. So how did you keep yourself moving? How do you keep yourself moving on a daily basis?
Now, I find myself always looking for different areas where I'm doing better.
Yeah.
I may not improve here, but I improve there.
Got it.
My arm mobility didn't get better for months, but
Hmm.
I was able to stand up after a while, which when my disability started, I couldn't move any of my limbs. My right arm, I could move a little bit, not even up this high.
Wow.
Uh, but after a while, I could stand. That was something I could own, be proud of.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot. I could only stand for 30 seconds at first.
Hmm.
Now I can stand for 20 minutes.
Yeah. That's
So
amazing.
Good for
every
you.
little bit of what I do measured only against what I can do because nobody else is as screwed up as I am.
Well,
Keep
nobody
pushing.
has the exact same walk through whatever traumatic
No,
event they're going through.
Yeah.
So Dennis has said it multiple times. Comparison is the thief of joy in any scenario. And
yeah,
especially if you're trying to get back on your feet and you start comparing yourself to other people who appear to be doing better, it's not going to make you feel great. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
could give you a brief motivation, like I want to be where they're at, but you've got to
yeah,
put one foot in front of the other, literally. Like you've got to push.
yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of times where you're very sad too, because you're now in a vessel that once worked no problem. And now
Yeah.
this vessel isn't operating the way it should. And that must feel very, I would assume very sad and kind of depressing.
Overwhelming.
But you had to push back through it. Can you speak to those moments where you were kind of like, man, this is a bummer, but I got to keep going?
So I have mostly let go of that attachment to who I used to be.
Okay.
Okay.
And that I'm really okay with I might never walk again.
Yeah.
It's pretty likely insurance certainly doesn't think I will.
Right.
They approved my electric wheelchair first try, which
Yeah.
means they really didn't think I was ever going to walk.
Yeah. I think you're going to prove them wrong. You're not going to
I
need that
hope
chair after a
so.
while. Yeah,
I hope so.
we're going to
You're
be
giving it
praying.
one hell of a try. It's very inspirational to hear all this. So, what is a happiness advisor? Is that what you call yourself?
Yeah, so I consult with a couple people. I've been working on some speeches and I'm working on a book.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
it's all about why am I happy? How can you be happy?
Yeah,
And I think there are a lot of things to notice, some of which is we as human beings are not that great at being happy. It, there are evolutionary reasons for that.
that's
When
such
we're
a good point.
unhappy, we're trying to achieve more.
Hmm.
So we tend to be unhappy more than we are happy.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of things that are tools that enable happiness. I work on gratitude as primary. One of the first things I started doing was just remembering every night before I went to bed, what are three things I can be grateful for today? And at
that's,
first, they were things like I drank water without choking.
hmm,
That was a big day.
yeah,
But
Wow. That's
now there are
amazing.
things like I got up and walked 100 feet.
hmm,
And I find that focusing on that gratitude gives you a better attitude.
I
Yeah.
agree.
You find it easier to be happy about these things when you realize things you're already happy.
Yeah, very well said.
Another one that was big for me is getting out into nature.
Hmm.
And at first, I did that just by going out in my power wheelchair, rolling around the grounds of the rehab center.
Hmm.
But since I got into outpatient rehab, I've gone down to a local state park in Kinney Falls where they have power trail wheelchairs free to borrow.
Oh, wow.
And they loaned me a wheelchair, and I got for 2 hours doing the trails.
I bet
That
that felt amazing.
that is fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Does that give you a sense of freedom?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
which
I
is
could
super.
actually go out alone and do that. Yeah, and in my neighborhood trail, there is a century-old live oak at the end of a mile of trail, and I'm kind of hoping I can get one of those power trail chairs and go out there.
That
Yeah.
would be awesome.
People talking about the recovery have the same ideas about nature and tree bathing and being in walks in the park and golf and being outdoor. I think there's just something to that grounding effect of being in nature that really helps us
Yeah,
connect spiritually to the earth and however you want to word that.
yeah. And the other thing I've gotten hooked up with is accessible bird watching. There's a
All
group
right.
called Birdability at birdability.org, and they were started in Austin, and they have a local Austin chapter. Once a month, we go out for bird watching trips. They're guided. Those are
Well,
great.
that's really cool. That is really cool. Yeah.
Gives you
It
something to focus on while you're out there doing your tree bathing and you're walking and being in nature.
yeah.
I like it.
And that sense of freedom again. Because when you're in a hospital, like the one thing you realize after a little bit of time is everybody who's telling you everything's going to be okay is going home at the end of the day. Even your loved ones, you know what I mean? You are stuck to that bed. You've probably got bed sores, you know what I mean? And it's at one point they had a an alarm on my bed because they didn't want me getting out of the bed. And I was like, I hate it here. You know what I mean? It just
Engage the
is.
animal.
Yeah, it's a bummer when you're confined to something like that, and all you want is some freedom. That's all you want is just leave me alone, give me a breath, just and getting to get outside is a big deal. And I'm so happy that you found that. That's amazing. How do you, well, for yourself, and how do you coach people who tend to, like me, when things get tough, ruminate on stuff that happened in the past? It's almost like a natural reaction for me. It's like I just really quickly snap to a resentment that I feel I'm allowed to have. I imagine what I'd say to them, and it's not healthy. I've recognized that it's not healthy for
Yeah,
me.
but it is natural. It's it is our normal reaction to that.
Yeah,
When something bad happens, we look for the blame, and we often try to blame ourselves or something arbitrary in our environment. But
yeah,
the reality is just stuff happens. I mean, I'm the 1 in a billion survivor of the kind of stroke I had. But what
wow,
happened to me,
wow,
nothing I can
And so
do
you,
will ever change that.
yeah.
yeah. So you don't focus on that negative part of it. You
Yeah,
just flip it and focus on the positive of it.
I've also noticed through my therapy, it's kind of a recent realization, but sometimes what's actually happening is I'm feeling a certain way. I'm feeling less than or something like that, or I can't get through this, or what's wrong with me? Am I broken? That sort of thing. And that feeling causes me to search to another situation which made me feel that feeling, whether I was worthless or not important or something, not seen as not worthy or something like that. And I'll bring that up because it's relevant to the way I'm feeling right now, but it's not helpful because I keep going over the same thing over and over. And so it's take time. Like I keep growing through it. And, first it was like trying to forgive. And then it was like, what am I doing? Like, it's hurting me going through the idea of drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's just I'm so glad you said it's a natural reaction because I really kind of get in on
Yeah.
myself. I'm like, what are you doing? Like I get in my own head.
people's natural inclination is to ruminate, to look for
Mm,
Okay.
something to blame, to look for someone to blame, to
yeah,
worry about the past so it won't happen again, to worry about the future so you can prevent something bad from
yeah,
happening. But a lot of the time, that worrying does you no good.
Right.
And the
So
trick,
that's like our factory setting, and we have to kind of adjust it as we
our
go.
factory setting, we have to tweak, we have to lie to ourselves.
Okay.
You can't not think about something by thinking, don't think about it. It's like
Right.
saying, don't think about the pink elephant.
Right.
All you are going to think about is pink elephant.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to think about it and let it wash over you. Just,
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to feel guilty. I want to feel mad. But what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
I can be
Someone said
helped
him
if
out.
I can do something. I can't be helped by just being mad or sad.
Yeah.
And so you lie to yourself. You say things are going great when they aren't. You say things are going okay when they're going really poorly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you just live that till it's true.
Well, I
Yeah.
imagine that gratitude that you talk about, always looking for something to be thankful for, even if it's small things, is helping you to rewire that a
That
little bit.
helps, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think nature does too. And I think it all builds on one another.
I agree.
Spatial
I agree.
habits and not ruminating, thinking about what you want to do, not what you want not to do.
Hmm.
And that's really a big part of the distinction is stop worrying about what might be, worry about making happen what could be.
Yeah. And then something else you said earlier that really popped out at me, and Dennis is kind of mentioning it, is like you actually realize that human beings aren't supposed to be happy all the time.
Yeah,
And I think we've kind of like taken on that lie, and it's almost like a burden. It's like, if I'm not happy, why am I not happy? And you're almost anxious why you're not happy, but it's not actually supposed to be our default setting. It's just happiness and joy all the time.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like we're supposed to work through our day, do what we need to do, focus on what we need to focus on. And then when the happiness and joy comes, it's exciting. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not like a standard all the time, but I've definitely got that confused, especially in my worst times, when I'm ruminating and I'm, thinking about all that stuff. But you know, it sounds like what you've done is you're really able to keep a lot of mental discipline. I'm sure that came with time,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I meditate multiple times per day as a part of trying to build that.
Perfect. Awesome. So that works for you.
It really
And
helps me.
good, good. May I ask what kind of meditations you like to do?
So I really like the simplest of meditations, a breathing meditation.
Yeah.
All you do is count your breaths. And
Mhm.
I had a minister who taught me the best breathing meditation technique. She just
What's that?
turned to me quietly one day and said, only count to one.
Yeah.
And then you stop trying to achieve good counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a big long one.
Yeah, good long one. One.
Oh,
One.
I like
I've done that before too. And sometimes I can't get to two.
Yeah.
So it's like you breathe in once, and then something comes in. So you're like, one.
Yeah.
And if you're honestly doing it, you're like, one. And eventually maybe you get to two, but it takes time. It's meditation's strange. It's like a light concentration in a way. It's not as if you're looking to just like lay down and sleep. You're
No.
looking to to get almost things to stop, ground yourself, and just let it be.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to pay attention while you're doing it. So
Yep.
and for me, if I miss a day, when I go back to it, it's actually a little harder to get back to where I was, if you will. You know what I mean? It's like the cobwebs have come up. So if I have to make sure I'm meditating every day, yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
try very hard to do it every day. I
Yeah.
went and
And
bought myself meditation bells to help.
nice.
So,
Whatever works. What's the I had one of those necklaces that I was using for a while to count to three.
oh yeah.
We were counting the beads. It wasn't a rosary, it was something else. It's like a Buddhist thing, tiger eye.
Yeah.
But I was using it and for a long time I used it to stay in gratitude. I'd use it to count the three things. I'd be like this, 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 because I couldn't trust my brain to go any, I couldn't leave it alone almost, it seemed. It was always sporadic, running into places and hyperactive with, resentments and all this kinds of stuff. But man,
That's
thank,
always good, just because that little bit of getting control over your brain helps you get more.
yeah, it does.
And that's what a lot of it's about, is lying to ourselves about how we feel and tricking ourselves into feeling better.
I love it. That's probably the most honest advice a lot of people have given on here. It's like, here's the trick.
Yep.
Lie to yourself.
Yeah.
What is it like? I heard it in sales one time. It's like lie, cheat, steal. Lie to yourself and tell yourself you're the best salesman. Cheat by taking everyone else's salesman's tricks around you, and then and then steal by taking other people's techniques and stuff like that. But really, you're just like looking around you. Lie, cheat, steal,
Yeah.
and that reminded me of it. But that's powerful. That's powerful. It also seems to help, I
Let's
think.
learn and teach.
Do
Let's
I?
use some positive. Let's use some positive words instead of lie, cheat, steal. Let's go. Let's do like a hope, love, and teach or something. I don't know.
That's it works. It
Same
works.
concept. You're doing the same things that you're trying to do with your lie, cheat, steal, but we're doing a more of a positive words.
We're taking a more hopeful view of what is happening.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, because I found that positivity really breeds more positivity. If you're trying to focus on positive issues around you, you'll find more positive things. It's like when you buy a car, your brand new car that you buy, you haven't seen any like that make and model before in your life, and all of a sudden you drive down the street, you see them all over the place,
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so get the positive thoughts to be that brand new car. Let's find more positive thoughts and find them in places in our minds that we didn't even think they were there before.
I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but have you ever been hanging out with someone who's super positive when you want to be negative? And and they're just being positive, and you're like, after a while, you're like, shut up. And then you almost submit. You're like, whatever. Okay, so today's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure we did it to one another in the car when we were rolling around. If one of us wasn't feeling great, it's like, we're going to have a good day. Here we go. You know what I mean? Like, it's
positivity into existence. Let's do it.
Yeah, just go after it. Wow. What an honest and pure answer. I freaking love it.
Is this going to be in your book?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lying to ourselves is a big part of how we make progress.
All right.
That's so interesting. That is so interesting. And to hear it from you.
Yeah.
Whew, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
On things here.
And so a couple questions to kind of finish us up. I like to ask these questions. So given what you've been through now, what would you define resilience as?
I think a lot of it is in finding the positive things that are happening no matter what.
Yeah.
Because those positive things make the negative things easier. A friend of mine has said to me she's afraid to talk to me because after seeing everything that has happened, she knows she couldn't live through that. I'm like, well, I know you can because I have. Maybe you should talk to me more.
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah.
You become intimidating.
I'm not, right? Why?
But that's super cool. I mean, think about that. You've become intimidating because of what you've done through this process.
Yeah.
People are just in awe, like, oh my goodness, I couldn't do it. And if there was someone out there listening right now who is stuck up shit creek with no paddle, are there any words of encouragement? I know you just said focus on the positive. We know that. Is there anything else you would let them know, or a tool or anything like that?
Give them a paddle.
That you are all you need. You want to find people to help you remember that, but you are all you need.
That's so true. Well said, sir. We're definitely talking to 1 in a billion right here.
Yeah.
So we're talking to 1 in a billion, and these are gold nuggets. So everybody better be paying attention. Now, what I'll do, with your permission, Robert, if you want people to be able to contact you who might be in the same scenario and they're looking for hope, we could do that too. But besides that, thank you, Rob, so much for coming on and sharing with us. It's been an absolute privilege. It's been a blessing, and I know this is going to help someone, and that's all we're trying to do.
It has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
How far along is your book? Are you almost done with it, by the way?
I have about 50,000 words in the first draft, so I'm almost done.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Next you have a working title yet?
My working title is Embrace Joy.
I like it.
Oh, you might want to keep that one. That's a good one.
I think you should come back on when you release this book, and then we can kind of catch up with what's been going on with your progress, because you are a work in progress. I'm excited to see how far you're going to go.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Robert. Nice meeting you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Shit Creek Survivors. Rob's journey through 10 plus strokes and a brain tumor reminds us that resilience isn't about avoiding hardships. It's about choosing gratitude, growth, and joy, even in the hardest moments. If this conversation gave you hope, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little encouragement today. And remember, no matter how deep the creek gets, resilience is possible and hope is always within reach.